From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, January the 26th, 2017. A Palestinian man drove his vehicle into a West Bank security checkpoint last night in what is thought to have been a deliberate car ramming attack. The incident took place north of Jerusalem near the Jewish settlement of Kochav Yaakov. The driver, identified by the Palestinian Health Ministry as 24-year-old Kalandia resident Hussein Salem Abu Ghosh, drove a truck towards the security checkpoint and then swerved out of his lane and crashed into it. Israeli troops shot Abu Ghosh, who was killed. The IDF said a knife was also found in his possession. In a separate incident this morning at a checkpoint in the West Bank, an Israeli security officer was lightly injured while conducting a security check of a Palestinian man at the Betunia checkpoint. The man refused to cooperate with the check and drove off in his car, hitting the soldier. Other IDF soldiers stationed there shot at the car's tires in order to stop it. Also this morning, an IDF soldier was injured during clashes with Palestinians in the Jenin refugee camp, where residents threw pipe bombs and Molotov cocktails at IDF forces while they were conducting an arrest raid of two suspected members of Hamas. The injured soldier was taken to the hospital for treatment. His condition was not clear at the time of this report. And this afternoon, a Palestinian man opened fire on vehicles traveling on Route 55 in the northern West Bank. No one was injured in that incident, and IDF forces were searching for the suspect. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani met today with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem. Giuliani, as we reported to you earlier this week, arrived in Israel on Tuesday, but only met with the Prime Minister today, not earlier, as we had initially reported. The Prime Minister's office released a statement after the meeting saying that Giuliani delivered a personal message from Donald Trump to Netanyahu in anticipation of their meeting at the White House next month. Haaretz reports, citing Israel's Channel 10 TV station, that Israel is willing to accept 100 Syrian refugee orphans. Channel 10 cited a decision by Israel's Interior Minister Aryeh Deri reportedly authorizing the humanitarian program, which will allow for the orphans to be given temporary residency status in Israel. Israel has given medical care to more than 2,600 Syrian civilians in field hospitals and in Israeli medical centers since the beginning of the Syrian civil war. Tests between Israel and the United States were completed yesterday on the latest version of the anti-ballistic missile system, David's Sling. The system is being developed in a joint project by the Israel Missile Defense Organization and the U.S. Defense Department's Missile Defense Agency, whose director, Vice Admiral Jim Searing, said this test campaign is a critical step in ensuring Israel has the capability to defend itself from a very real and growing threat, adding, "We remain strongly committed to supporting Israel's development of a missile defense system." A court in Austria convicted a man this week to 33 months in prison for selling pro-Hitler songs online. The 38-year-old's identity was not released. He was sentenced on Tuesday for selling the recorded songs and for displaying Nazi tattoos. One of the songs praises a death camp set to the melody of a popular children's song. Austria has an anti-Nazi law that prohibits praise or propaganda of Nazi ideology. Christian scholars will gather in Atlanta, Georgia tomorrow for 3 days of study on Jewish themes. The third annual Christian Leadership Initiative, or CLI, Alumni Study Symposium will run through January the 29th. It is a joint initiative of the American Jewish Committee and the Shalom Hartman Institute of Jerusalem. Prominent Christian leaders and scholars from across North America will focus on the theme of Judaism and Israel in American Christian discourse. CLI aims to introduce Christian leaders to the central ideas of Jewish ethics and faith, as well as to the meaning of Israel and religious pluralism and interreligious study. AJC's Director of Interreligious and Intergroup Relations, Rabbi Noam Marans, called the symposium another step toward realizing our vision of a multi-cohort CLI community that that will have an indelible positive impact on Christian-Jewish relations in the United States. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, January the 26th. At 7 o'clock, it's Talmud Study with Rabbi Mordechai Becher. At 8, Professor David Menashri talks about the Jews of Iran. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with the daughter of Holocaust survivors, Dr. Naomi Vilko, who talks about the second generation on the Chaim. And at 10, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu discusses issues challenging Israel today and his hopes for the new administration with Saban Center Chairman Chaim Saban from the 2016 Saban Forum at the Center for Middle East Policy at the Brookings Institution in Washington. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, January the 26th, 2017. I'm Teisha Bader.